All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna wing this here. All right.
Cool. That's what
We'll
we
cut all
usually
this shit out. Yeah.
That's what we usually do. All right.
I didn't stop recording.
Settle in and listen to our mixtape and know the music vanishes. Enjoy your butt-up sandwiches.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the mixtape. I'm Jason Emmett.
I'm Casey Masterpiece.
I'm Twisted Kid Matt.
I'm Stewie D.
Third time's a charm, my friends. Third time's a charm. We're gonna try
Probably
to start
not.
this thing. Well, no, we're warts and all this time, guys. We're putting it out there. So this week, I decided it would be fun to kind of bring to you guys some fun facts about different musicians and songs that you might not have known. And some of these were really interesting, and I thought it'd be just kind of a fun thing to go over. So you might be educated. Maybe you knew some of this stuff. I didn't know almost any of the things I'm about to tell you guys. So I'm kind of curious to see which things you guys did and didn't know about. So we're going to go ahead and start this whole thing off by talking about Celine Dion. We're going to talk about Celine Dion for a second because we all love Saint Celine, right?
Well, my
Oh
heart.
yeah. She's the greatest.
I have a question. What's with Celine Dion ending up with other people's songs, right? We
What's
all
with Celine Dion?
and other people's songs. We all know the song It's All Coming Back to Me Now was originally intended for Meatloaf. We've actually talked about this on the show before, and he actually did a version of the song. We know her Christmas song, God Bless Everyone, was actually written and originally done by Dee Snider. And it's out there if you guys want to go find it. There's a whole fun story about that situation with Dee Snider writing a Christmas song and Celine Dion hearing it and wanting to buy it, which is why she gets called Saint Celine, because that's what his family nicknamed her. But do you guys remember, and I know Stewie does, you guys remember the 1998 film Armageddon, right? You guys remember?
Yep.
So Aerosmith had a song on that album, little ballad called "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing," right? And it was kind of a huge hit for them. The band was actually set to write a song for the movie because of, as you recall, Liv Tyler is in the movie, and I guess they thought it'd be kind of cool to have Steve Tyler do a song for the movie. But the problem was they'd run into some time constraints, and they just didn't have time to write a song. It turns out Grammy Award winner Diane Warren had written a song based on an interview she'd had with Barbara Walters, where James Brolin had said he missed Barbra Streisand whenever the two of them were asleep. So she heard that, she penned this tune, right? She intended for this song to go to Celine Dion. And I don't really know what happened in there, but Steve Tyler somehow got a hold of it. And they were like, hey, this will work great for the movie Armageddon. She didn't really see that as something that she thought would work originally. She's like, I don't see how this ballad that I intended for Celine Dion is going to work for Aerosmith. But she gave it to him. Steve Tyler did his thing. And she's come out and said, it's their song. I can't hear it any other way at this point.
Well, there was a country artist that tried to redo it.
So I haven't
It's
heard
not
this.
good.
I was going to ask
I
if
don't.
it worked.
I don't like it though. But of course, I don't
Yeah,
really care
it's,
for country that much.
I don't care for country much either,
it's-
but
Is it Rascal Flatts that does it?
I don't know.
that sounds like something they
Might
might probably
be.
do. I don't
Yeah, they
like,
always-
but that's, I don't think that's here nor there. Like, just because we are not fans of country music makes me wonder, like, does that, I can still say whether I think a song is good or not. Like,
Right.
I know what I like about country music, but I could still hear a song and go, ugh, like, it's not that I don't like country. It's just, I don't think that's a good
Well,
cover.
Like recently, the Luke Combs did Fast Car.
And it's I don't
not
like it, but it's
horrible.
not bad.
It's not horrible.
And I
but
know
I'm-
I think he didn't he perform that with Tracy Chapman live?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Which is it's not horrible.
It's
It was
very-
really cool. It was really cool live, but it didn't need to be remade.
It's not.
And I agree. I don't think it needed
Yeah.
to be
It
remade
doesn't
either.
sound horrible, but it's at least it's not twangy. Or,
But
you don't have fiddles in it. and-
Well, that song kind of plays like I kind of hear where you could go country with that song too. I
it
think
was
that
actually covered by Mark Chestnut.
Mark Chest.
who did
That's who
that,
did.
yeah.
I don't want to miss a thing.
Did the cover of it. Yep.
So like I don't think that. I think when Luke Combs did Fast Car, it was probably more out of respect and appreciation for the song than it was like
I don't
man,
want to miss a thing. Probably was like, oh, you're gonna do this.
And it could have been a management decision. It might not even
Yeah.
been his. It's a weird thing. But did you guys know that song was originally intended for Celine Dion? And can you hear her singing that song?
I could hear her doing that, but she's on enough soundtracks. Peanut Butter Solution, Titanic.
Is on the peanut butter. I love that. That's your go-to. She's on the peanut butter solution. Like, she is.
Twice.
on it.
She is. It's a
Oh.
Canadian movie, and she's on it. Yeah, 2 songs
Oh,
on it.
damn.
So good.
So guys,
So not good.
the songs aren't bad. The movie's a
Yeah.
little weird.
Movie's weird, but
So here's the thing, guys. We started off friends. You know, it was cool. It was all pretend.
Mm.
Yeah. Come on, somebody.
Since you've been
since
gone.
Thank
you've been
you.
gone.
Yeah.
Jeez, I love that hanging for you guys. That was low hanging fruit. So we all know this song, right? 2004 hit song, the adorable Kelly Clarkson.
Yep.
I love Kelly Clarkson. Have you seen her? She looks great.
Oh yeah.
She's one of those people though that I always respected her, like because she's this little thing. She gained weight. She was still beautiful the whole time.
Mm.
Like I thought she was always
But
beautiful.
now she's trying to sell the whole weight loss thing.
Well, she was going. You got to understand, man. She was going through a rough relationship, and most of us didn't know that at the time. And I think she's just like, you know how it goes when you come out of something rough. Sometimes you're like, I just want to take my life back, however it is. But she gave us this song in 2004. It's a smash hit for Kelly Clarkson, right? Since you've been gone, everybody knows the song. It's her most recognizable hit.
Mm.
But this song was actually supposed to go to a different pop diva. Do you guys want to take a guess? And once you know who it is, you're going to be like, oh my God. But what pop diva was offered this song in 2004?
Oh.
No guesses? No guesses?
I'm gonna guess
Wait.
Pink.
Shut up, Matt. You're not going to guess.
Mm.
It was Pink.
Really?
The song. And could you hear Pink singing this? Totally.
I could totally hear
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
I can see them duetting this. Like 'cause
I
they,
could see that
they have
too.
a similar.
That may
voice.
have already happened.
That
I
would
don't
be
know
cool.
if it has, but that'd be cool.
And I could
Um,
see the two of them being willing to
Well,
perform
there's
together.
times
Yeah.
where I like hear the song from one of them and thinking it's the other.
I could,
in a way.
Yeah.
I could see that,
Mm.
which is
Yeah.
like I said, I could totally hear Pink singing this song.
Which, by the way, this is another song that has been covered. And Stu, I think you'll like it if you haven't heard it before. It was covered by the band Day to Remember. It
Really?
is really good. You should check it out. It's on one of the Punk Goes Pop albums.
Okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, it's good
So
stuff.
this song was offered to Pink first. Writers Max Martin and Dr. Luke Gottwald took it to Pink, and she was like, "Nah." so they just went to the next logical.
nah, 'cause, like the song sucks.
I don't know why she turned it
Mm.
down. to be honest.
It's
But
probably
they
like, I
just-
got enough
So they
songs.
went on to the next logical choice, Hillary Duff.
What?
So then Hillary
Sure.
Duff recorded the song. But the problem is she was singing the song. She realized she could not hit the high part. She just couldn't do it. So she gave it back. So I can't, it's just out of my range. I can't sing this song. So producer Clive Davis steps in and he's like, hey, I have Kelly Clarkson over here. And then Kelly Clarkson, I guess she gives it a listen, and she was like, hey, we need to add some harder guitars. We need to add a harder drum beat because this thing needs to be like maxed out.
Explosive,
Yeah.
It's been
And it
kind of like
worked.
an anthem, kind of a song for
Mm.
And it freaking
It fucking
single
makes-
ladies.
number 2 on the Billboard in the U.S. and was also a worldwide success. 3 million downloads of the song were sold, and that's saying a lot. This is 2004. 3 million downloads sold is amazing.
great song.
Instead of her biggest hit, and it's just weird to know. And sometimes we don't know why people turn it down. Like seriously, we don't. It's like, what reason? She could have had a full plate. Her managers may not, which we'll get into in a minute, may not have even told her about it. Have no idea. I imagine Pink heard it and probably just had something going on and couldn't do it at the time.
You know what? She was probably dealing with her divorce back then.
That's possible too. God knows.
Mm.
Like if Hillary Duff would have been the one to release the song, would it have been what it is?
No, it would have been like a little poppy.
Yeah, it would have been with the Disney Channel.
I've always kind of felt bad for Hillary Duff, only in that, like,
Doing little mouse ears.
Right.
wand
have you
thing,
guys
yeah.
noticed when somebody leaves Disney Channel, the only way they seem to become majorly successful is if they like play into the like stuff, really hardcore
Mhm.
girls.
I don't
Yep.
know. Did
Did Zac Efron do it?
She
Well,
did.
Not at first.
Genie in a Bottle
yeah,
was her first
dude.
like major hit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Olivia Rodrigo is kind of doing it now.
You know, Britney Spears.
So-
out of school outfit.
I mean, we could go
So
old
for-
school and say a
from-
Net Vunicello. You know,
Yeah. Did the beach movies.
yeah,
Yeah.
Got to show off
Uh,
the skin.
So
the
I
Batusi.
would say we keep doing the Batusi over and
They
over
did
again.
that. That was wonderful.
So for Disney Channel females, I think they lean into the sex appeal aspect.
Mm.
However, the males that leave Disney Channel go the like serial killer horror route. And I'm not making a joke. I'm referring to
Mm.
Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy
He
in
did.
the Netflix series. Yeah,
Zac-
he
That's
went a
Timberlake, you do
hard
that.
but
different direction.
have you
He's
heard
really
the
good
story
at it
about
too.
this? So Zach
Yeah.
Efron, I guess, is friends with Leonardo DiCaprio, which
Mhm.
not surprising. And
Leonardo.
Leonardo said to him, like, I guess
Leonardo
they talked, and he was like, you need to take obscure stuff, or else you are going to be stuck in this like
Yep.
role, because they
pigeonholed.
tried to do it to Leo, and he was like,
Mhm.
so he did. I guess Zac Efron took some roles that were a little like kind of raunchy comedies and stuff like that kind of threw people off what, and it worked. I mean, it worked
It
well.
worked really
Look-
well.
Yeah.
Now
And
he
we get
looks
to
like the
see-
Von Erich brothers.
And now he doesn't anymore. But dude, that was weird, man. Like they got so weirdly like buffed and like it was weird, like creepy looking.
Yeah.
But it worked, and it worked for Leo too, because they tried to typecast him, and what we get to see is no, they actually have range. And I think
Mhm.
that works for some of these girls, like Christina Aguilera. It's the same thing. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show you guys that I actually have range. So
Wow.
it's just a way, I guess, of getting noticed. And
Yeah,
it's
Lady Marmalade, she
maybe-
had huge range.
maybe not the best way of getting noticed, but it does work.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about that, let's talk about Britney Spears for a minute. So Britney had become something of a sensation as a solo
It's
artist,
Britney, bitch.
but originally,
Can we clip that? Just use that every once in a while.
Yeah.
it's Britney, bitch. So you guys might not know this. I did not know this. She became a famous solo artist, but originally that scumbag Lou Pearlman, who created all those boy bands, who you guys
Yeah.
probably know about, he was trying to convince her to join the female pop group Innocence, which I had never even heard of.
Yeah, I've never heard
Really?
of that.
But he wanted her to join this group. Luckily, Lynn Spears spoke with a lawyer named Larry Rudolph, who kind of steered her away from that direction and kind of talked her into the like
Did
just
he have
do
a red
solo
nose?
thing. That was not a good joke, and if you keep that up, we're kicking you off the show permanently. Just
Don't threaten me with a good time.
She becomes a successful solo artist, and one day she's offered a song, and that song is called Telephone. But Britney Spears is like, nah, that song's not for me. I actually don't know why she didn't release it. She actually did record a demo of it. And we know that Lady Gaga, who wrote
It
part of the
sounds
song,
like a Britney Spears song though. Like
so
it
Lady Gaga
sounds like it
approached
could be.
and said, like, well, how about we do it as a duet? And for whatever reason, Britney Spears didn't. So she ended up doing the song with Beyonce.
That would have been huge on its
AKA
own,
Beyonce.
but even bigger with Beyonce.
Well, like Britney Spears and Beyonce?
Yeah. No, Britney Spears and Lady Gaga. That would have been huge. Like if they had done that.
Yeah,
But
with,
that
you think
song-
it would have
the-
been big with Britney, but you're saying it's bigger with Beyonce?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the point that this song
Great
came
video
out,
too, by the way. Yeah.
like Britney was like, I don't know if she was quite as, she wasn't Beyonce at that point,
Is that when before she went crazy?
I don't really know.
Crazy.
Thanks.
We're just gonna have a bunch of like Stu doing Britney Spears drops to put in the show from now on.
Yep.
You keep me up all night. So she's offered Telephone, turns that down. Then she gets offered another song. She gets offered a song called Umbrella. Ella. I knew it.
Ella.
I knew it was gonna happen.
Also covered on the Punkos Pop album.
So this one is offered to her because one of the song's writers, Christopher Stewart, had with her previously. So he approached her. Well, that's not entirely true. So what he did was he sends the song Umbrella over to her management, thinking it's going to make a good addition for her Blackout album, her 5th album, which she was currently working on. But the label rejected it. Here's the thing. They never even played her the demo. She never even got to hear it. They just rejected it outright. So we don't have enough room on this album for it. So they're like, okay, fine. So it ends up in the hands of L.A. Reid, who got it in the hands of Rihanna. And as we know, Rihanna took this song and made it a huge Rihanna hit. And it's hot to watch Rihanna dancing in it.
Mhm.
That being said, I need to bring up Britney one more time.
One more time. Hit me, babe.
Okay. I guess we can.
No, it plays in because it's actually a fact. It's about the fact that One More Time was intended to go to TLC.
One more
And then it was intended to go to the Backstreet Boys after TLC said no. So before we move on with the factoid here, I want to know, can you guys picture TLC or Backstreet Boys singing One More Time?
No,
With TLC, it would have been a
not at this
different song.
point.
Yeah.
It would have been a different song. I could see them doing their version. I kind of could hear the Backstreet Boys singing it. It's very Backstreet Boys kind of song if you think about it. Whatever reason, it didn't happen. It ended up being Britney's debut single, the one that kind of solidified her career in 1999. It was written by Max Martin, who we just talked about with the whole Kelly Clarkson thing, and was intended for somebody else. They both turned it down, and then it was offered to some British pop band called Five, who I don't know who they are. Anyway, Spears ends up getting it, and she's very excited to record it. The execs start worrying that the original song, called Hit Me One More Time, might suggest domestic violence. So they enter the word baby, and that's a true story. So I can't, in my head, I've been trying to do this over and over, like, hit me one more time. And I can't do it. It just doesn't work without something being there. But yeah, originally it was going to be called Hit Me One More Time. And I guess they were like, nah, it sounds like domestic violence. So they added baby. And before we get off the Britney thing, I just want to say Toxic. And I hear this. The song Toxic was originally written for Kylie Minogue. And I totally hear
that.
Kylie Minogue singing Toxic. It sounds like a Kylie Minogue. And I love Kylie Minogue, by the way. But for whatever reason, that one also ended up with Britney Spears. And that's probably one of my favorite Britney Spears songs. So it kind of works out, I guess, for her.
Also has been covered, by the way.
Toxic, it's been covered multiple
It's been done by a band called Static Lullaby that kind of made it a metalcore song.
I kind of dig Toxic.
I like it a lot.
I like the beat big time.
But I've heard a couple remakes and I like them too. I think it's just one of those songs that kind of just works because of that beat. Like when I believe it or not, this fat ass here used to run, and when I ran, that was one of my running songs on my playlist because it kind of just has that really good beat to it when it keeps a good pace.
When you get to like a crosswalk, you head across the street and cars were coming, you'd be like,
baby, can't you see? A guy like you should have a woman. You're dangerous.
Is there an echo going on?
Too high, can't come down.
Which, by the way, they talked about this. They talked about Toxic on one song, and they broke it down where they isolate all the vocals. There is 3 different people singing on a lot of that song.
So it's not just her.
No, it is 3 different people.
I bet there.
It is three separate people. They actually included the woman who did the vocals for the demo. She's on the track still. Like they liked that so much that they just were like, we're leaving this in, and then have Britney sing over the top of it, and it just adds like little layers of vocal. It's really it's fascinating to hear.
One song is a really cool podcast we recommend. They just take one song each episode and just break it down, where it came from, how it's structured. Like it's a really cool podcast.
Yeah.
So I recommend.
They do the lyrics. They play the isolated vocal tracks, isolated drum tracks, guitar tracks, everything.
So
and it's really fun.
This is off Britney topic, but you made me think of this. So you guys know the song California Dreamin', right?
Yeah.
By the Mamas and the Papas. So originally it was supposed to be...
I heard the breakdown of that, the isolation.
Well, it was originally supposed to be recorded by, and I don't know this guy. I can't remember his name, but he has this really gruff voice, and he actually recorded it with the Mamas and the Papas.
Louis Armstrong?
No. But they ended up...
It's that gruff voice.
They ended up saying to him, like, hey, we're going to put it on our album. Are you cool with all this? And he's like, yeah, it's your song. What he did is they were going to take him out completely, which they did. And then they re-recorded the vocals over it. But I guess if you isolate certain tracks, you still hear him in the background, which is just really bizarre. You made me think of that. And that's just a little extra music factoid. We're not going to talk about the Mamas and the Papas, though. Right now, we're going to talk about
Satchmo.
Yes, Satchmo. What a woman. We're going to talk about Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake. It's off his debut album, Justified, and obviously one of his most famous hits.
Yeah, it's definitely a great album.
A couple little factoids. It was written by... All right, so you guys, before we go, do you guys know around what year this song released, right?
Yeah, it was like 2000 or something like that.
So I want you guys to take a guess. Somebody real famous artist, okay, that writes songs for people that wrote this song. Do you guys know who it is? Anybody else?
Pharrell.
It was Okay,
Yeah.
you guys know it was
Yeah.
Pharrell Williams and the Neptunes wrote.
Well, it's because he was in the song with him.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So Pharrell Williams and the Neptunes wrote "Rock Your Body," but this is the thing that's pretty cool. It was not written for Justin Timberlake.
Oh.
Do you know who he wrote this song for? He wrote this for a very famous, very, very famous artist who is no longer with us.
Or is he?
Thanks, man. A little hint. Nudge,
Tupac.
wink, wink, nudge,
We've
nudge.
been talking about him a lot
Tupac.
lately.
You hear Tupac singing Justin Timberlake's "Rock Your Body"?
We're gonna rock your body. Oh,
This was
R.
supposed to be-
Kelly.
This was supposed to be on this particular artist's last album, their final album.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. He wrote it for Michael Jackson, and it
Really?
was supposed to go on the Invincible album. So yeah,
I can't picture it.
I
can't
kind of
picture it now.
can. I don't know if it would have been structured a little different. I kind of hear it. It sounds like some old Michael Jackson stuff to me.
I
Like,
could
it
see
kinda
Michael J.
off the
doing it,
wall
but
kind of stuff.
Like Dirty
Yeah.
Diane.
And I think Pharrell was kind of coming back to that kind of disco sound, and it's real common for Pharrell to do that. So I kind of hear that like off the wall sound coming from the song a little bit. They turned it down for whatever reason, which turned out to be a good thing for Justin Timberlake. This landed at #2 on the charts, sold over 3 million copies in the U.S. alone. So it was a really good thing for JT off his
Yeah,
solo
it's a-
album.
huge song.
So I don't know, man. I'm curious why they turned it down, but I can't see him like saying "I'll get you naked" by the end of the song. Like for Michael Jackson, that would have been a little weird.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have worked at the Super Bowl.
For all we know, by the way, that line wasn't in it originally. Like, I don't
Goddamn,
know-
Stu. I hadn't even thought of that. You just
Michael
made a
Jackson.
huge
oh,
jump.
Oh God, it just clicked
Yeah.
in my brain too. That's his brother sister thing. Yeah, God, why? Why, Stuart?
Oops, I did again.
God, I told you you're gonna get fired.
I'm gonna hit you, baby, one more time. All right.
Ah!
Ew.
You guys are killing me,
All
but my
right.
heart will go on.
Softly?
Oh,
Okay. So what do you
something
guys
about
think?
since you've been gone. Yeah.
Something about it. There's something.
Somewhere.
Well, what do you guys think about that though? Michael Jackson singing "Rock Your Body."
I think it would have worked.
I
don't
think so. I think it would work.
But
would
here's
just
the
be
question:
different.
knowing
Mm.
Michael the way we do Michael,
It would have changed.
do
something.
you think it would have been as big a hit as it was with Justin Timberlake?
No.
Strangely, no.
I don't either.
And,
'Cause I
and I
think
think he
the
would have
format
actually
is
taken
like-
that "I'm gonna have you naked" by the end of the song out.
It
I think he
probably
would
wouldn't have
taken
been
that
in
out.
there.
Yeah.
And I think it would have just been a track on Invincible. I don't think it would have been like a single.
Well, he didn't really talk about him being sexy or something like that, right?
He would he'd
Mhm.
do his version of what he thought sexy
Yeah.
was. Sometimes, like like
Gonna make you giggle by the end of this song.
I don't know. I don't know what he thought sexy was, Liz. But Justin Timberlake brought it back, so it's all good.
Damn it.
Nice.
All right, guys.
I like what you did there.
1997, a song came out, right? And I think most of us thought that this little Sarah McLachlan ditty was about sad dogs that needed adopted. You can call that number.
Yeah,
Call the
let's
number on
take that
screen.
number.
You
Adopt a
can
dog.
call that number on screen. It's for the ASPCA, and I'm sure
No.
it's still.
I don't
does.
know. That dog on the screen looks pretty happy.
That's her
Mm.
dog,
Yeah.
I think. Actually,
Yeah, you
Something-
got it.
Oh,
You guys-
okay.
I have a feeling that dog's not around anymore.
you guys remember?
Wow, make it dark, dude.
Of an angel, this dog needs help. Guess what? This song's not about dogs at all. Do you guys know what that song is about? Because I didn't.
No.
And this is straight up from her. Yeah, the song "Arms of an Angel" was about musicians who got hooked on heroin when the pressures of performing became just too much.
What the hell?
Damn.
Sure. All right.
She said she
She's
wrote.
like, I
the
got this
song-
great song about dogs that are about to get put down.
What
Um,
she has said. I got this great song. It's about putting animals down. No, she said she actually came out and said, I wrote this song in 3 hours after reading a story in Rolling Stone about musicians who got hooked on and OD'd. Specifically, she was talking about Smashing Pumpkins keyboardist Jonathan Melvin, who
Yeah.
passed away. She said she understood those feelings and what might drive them to drug abuse. And this is a quote from her. I've been in that place where you've messed up and you're so lost you don't know who you are anymore and you're miserable. And here's this escape route. I've never done heroin, but I've done plenty of other things to escape. So there you go. That's what the song is really about. It is not about anything I think any of us ever thought it was about.
Sad
Especially
dogs.
since it ended up in the movie City of Angels, and now you're just kind of like, like it's so weird now. to
That
know
was
that-
in City of Angels?
wasn't it?
I don't think so.
She had a song on that soundtrack. It wasn't this.
I think so.
I thought it
I
was.
can look it up
makes
real quick.
sense.
Matt, look it up.
Yeah, man,
I'll
look it up. I know she had a
All
song
right.
on that soundtrack. It would make sense if Arms of an Angel was on the City of Angels soundtrack.
Well, I knew Google Dolls was the big song.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure she was on there too.
Hmm.
I could be totally wrong here. If so, it was
See what
Stu.
Matt comes up with.
But it's just weird because I think
I'm looking. Sarah
you guys-
McLachlan did Angel
Oh, okay.
on the City of Angels soundtrack,
Whatever.
which I believe is the song we're referring to.
so.
I
We
could
all
be
know-
mistaken.
We all know that the song, we've talked about this way in the past, but the Toy Soldiers by Martika, that song's
Yeah.
also about drug addiction. And like she saw a friend of hers going through addiction
Really?
and wrote this Toy Soldier. Yeah. So I think it's weird when we find it. And that song I kind of see, but when I hear this song, I'm like, it just makes it even doubly sad, like even more sad than it was to begin with. I don't know. I will say this though, in case anyone out there is wondering, this song did make over $30 million for the ASPCA, and those puppies made out a little bit too. So it did do good things.
They're doing all right.
Money for puppies.
Yeah.
And your chicks for free.
Yeah.
just chickens. Yeah.
Oh, that made it better.
Oh my god.
He said
Money for
puppies.
puppies. and chickens for free.
I didn't even hear that.
Okay, that needs to be a shirt. Oh.
Money for puppies
And your chicks for free. Oh God. Okay. All right. Okay.
The
Okay.
hell
I'm
was
gonna
that?
move on. We're gonna talk more about. We're gonna talk about another song written about heroin.
Oh my god.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Since we are talking about songs written about heroin, how about a song first released by the Laws in 1988?
The Who?
The Laws.
No, the laws.
You've probably actually heard a version of this song. You just didn't know that's who you were hearing. Then it was later released by Christian alternative rock band Sixpence None the Richer. And then you know the song really well.
Mm-hmm.
You probably only know 2 songs that you can think of that were released by Sixpence.
Yeah.
Yes, they were a Christian band, which makes this so much better. The song There She Goes is supposed to be about heroin, depending on who you ask. And we're going to kind of talk about it for a second. And maybe it's not. We're going to talk about it. But here are the lyrics in case you don't remember. There she goes, racing through my brain, pulsing through my vein. No one else can heal my pain. So,
Now I see it.
so when asked about it, right? Laws bassist John Power said, I don't know. Truth is, I don't want to know. But in the book, The Search for the Laws, A Secret Liverpool in 2003, ex-Laws guitarist Paul Hemmings denied the rumor. Problem is, he didn't write the song. The song was written by their frontman, Lee Mavers, who didn't deny the rumor, hasn't really said one way or the other. So we don't really know. We'll kind of let you guys decide if the song is about heroin. I like to think it is now, and that Sixpence None the Richer Christian band.
It could
remade it.
mean her low was running through his veins.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to think. So I always thought it was weird anyway that Sixpence was. There's a fact that not everybody knew is that they were a Christian band. They are a Christian band, as far as I know. They're still they only had a couple secular hits, but I always thought it was weird that they were a Christian band, and even if they were singing about love, isn't it kind of lesbian love? There she
Yeah.
goes. 'Cause
yeah.
no, Stuart, don't. That's why that is that is why every week when it asks if it has graphic content, I click yes.
Yeah, and the videos go up as not intended for children.
That's well, they're not. Your kids should watch We Educate.
Leave it to Uncle Stu.
Creepy
call
Uncle
it everything
Stu.
way creepier. I don't know, man. So we really don't know if it is or isn't about heroin addiction. We have no idea, but I like to think now that it is, and they just didn't know when they recorded it. But we're gonna move on to a real famous song here. I assume all of us in this room have some RESPECT for Aretha Franklin,
Yes.
and we all probably love her 1967 hit "Respect."
Mhm.
Did you guys
That's
know?
what that's spelling? Damn.
I thought it was saying receipt.
Also covered, by the way, by Reba McEntire. Yeah.
Did you guys know that the song was a remake?
Really?
I think you actually said that on one of the past shows.
It's possible. I didn't. I don't feel like I did
think
because
we've-
I
I don't
don't
think we've talked
remember it
about
being a
Respect.
remake. But possible it got brought up. I don't really know.
I thought so.
Yeah, not only was it a remake, it was released 2 years earlier by Otis Redding, and it was actually
Huh.
a big hit for Otis Redding. It's not like it wasn't a hit in '65 when he released it. It was,
Need to
but
hear
then
that now.
she took the song, she turned some of the, changed some of the lyrics and rearranged a
Turn
little
it
bit,
into woman power.
and did. She made
Yeah,
it a
pretty much. Yeah.
He Aretha-tized it.
She
Mhm.
then re-released it and gave her 2 Grammys, and it also landed her version in the Library of Congress National Recording Registry. So I'd say pretty well. I went back.
Yeah.
Right.
I went back and listened to the Otis Redding version, and it's weird because like you hear it's the same song, but it isn't. Like
Mhm.
it's a little slower. It definitely doesn't hit as hard. Hers and considering they're only 2 years apart, hers feels way more modern to me than his did. His feels very 1965. Hers feels like it could have come out in the 70s to me. I've always thought that. Because it's such a her version hits so hard, it rocks kind of hard, Of course, it is Aretha's voice. I don't know.
True.
It was
pretty-
probably because of the beehive.
She's pretty amazing. She didn't really have the beehive when she did this. She didn't really have a beehive, did she? I mean, her hair was
No.
all a little bit.
A little bit.
I don't think like Marge
Time.
Simpson.
I don't think anybody's had March.
that was the best Marge Simpson. Like, oh,
Like Marge shot. Yeah.
you
That
said,
sounds way more.
you look like Janet Jackson. Got up out that car looking more like Freddie Jackson.
Damn.
You said you sounded like Marge Simpson. Sound more like Marge Shot. I think that's really cool. It's one of those things where I guess his was a hit we should have known. Did anybody know that Otis Redding had released that before her?
Nope, I didn't.
And we've
I'm actually
done
learning
a
a lot more about Otis Redding from doing the show and some other stuff in the past that
We've done,
I had no idea that Sitting on the Dock of the Bay was released after he had passed away.
like
like,
right after, right?
Literally, like all but one member of his band died in a plane crash, and that was the whistling part at the end of Sitting at the Dock of the Bay was a placeholder. There was supposed to be lyrics there,
It wasn't even supposed
and
to be
now it's
there.
like the most famous part of the song.
I read that somewhere not that long ago. That's
Pretty
weird.
crazy.
It's the Matrix, guys. We're in the Matrix.
Again,
We've talked about songs you didn't know were remakes, but I don't think we didn't go back to the 60s when we did those episodes. So, I mean, it could have been brought up by somebody just sort of, one-off, one-shot thing. But I didn't know. So if I brought it up, I'm some fucking weird genius because I don't read it. It's possible. Who knows?
we have a
we're
spreadsheet of this stuff. We should probably look it up sometime.
We're going to skip forward, though. We're going to skip forward to 1973, and we're going to talk about Bob Marley and the Wailers for a second. Because Bob Marley and the Wailers gave us a real famous Bob Marley song, I Shot the Sheriff, who was murdered by a man, but that man did not kill the deputy, as we all know.
Damn it. I was gonna say that.
We all know this song, right? I'm sure we'd all sing parts of it, if not most of it, right now. And do we all know the name of the sheriff, right?
Andy Griffith.
John Brown. Yeah. Andy Griffith's great.
It was John Brown. It was Sheriff John Brown. And he tells a whole story in the song that John
But
Brown.
was it
never
really
liked.
John Brown?
I thought you
I was
just,
referring to the Inner Circle song.
No. Yeah, it's really John
It's really
Brown.
nice.
Yeah.
All right. Just pulled that out of my
Yeah.
ass.
So Sheriff Brown never liked him. He says it right in the song, and whatever reason he torments him and he ends up shooting the sheriff, but he did not shoot the deputy. So we all knew what this song was about, right? No,
Shooting
we
the
didn't.
sheriff.
It's really not. In 2012, Marley's former girlfriend Esther Anderson dropped a little information on us. It changed the entire meaning of the song. She actually told us that Bob Marley was against her being on certain types of birth control and was really mad about it when the doctor put her on those types of birth control. So mad that he changed the Dr. Brown to Sheriff Brown and
So
wrote
he
a song
shot-
about
He
it.
shot the doctor.
Sheriff John Brown always hated me for what I do not know. Every time I plant my seed, he said, kill it before it grow.
Damn.
Actual line from the
He
song.
took it from being about conception of a child to
Taking
planting
a life.
marijuana, probably.
But it's just really interesting when you know, like, it's like, he's like, you know, I don't want to say the doctor because that'll sound bad. I shot the sheriff. It's fine. So
Yeah.
it's like, which, you know, this song got brought up a lot.
This just in: Bob Marley condones.
Well, you know what's funny about that? This song got brought up a ton when people were coming after them for the song "Cop Killer," NWA,
Makes sense.
No, that was
Specifically, Ice Cube. Body
Ice
count.
Cube, and then they were also
body count.
yeah, but they were also coming after NWA for "Fuck the Police." Sorry, I was
Oh,
getting
yeah.
my stuff mixed up. So they were coming after him for "Cop Killer" and NWA for "Fuck the Police," and this song brought up a bunch because they both sides were saying like, it's funny that he can release a song in 1973 called "I Shot the Sheriff" and never gets any controversy over it, but now that we are as rappers. And I mean, it is a little bit of a point. Theirs was probably a little more graphic on both, but you know, you still, you know, he straight up says, I shot the sheriff. But he did tell him, you know, but I didn't shoot the other guy. That was somebody else. It wasn't me. I don't know who
Yeah.
shot him.
It was a group effort, and I had no part of that.
Probably Stu shot the deputy. Let's be honest. So there you go. A little Bob Marley factoid for you guys. Just thought that would be fun to drop on you. And then I'm going to drop a song about a virgin on you next. Yeah, like a virgin, as it would be. This song is not what you thought it was about. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but it's not.
Kind of.
It's not where you were
And
going.
if you've seen Reservoir Dogs, you may know this story.
Well, that's not it either, really.
That's
Sort
probably
of.
not.
Do they talk about the actual story in there? I don't think they do. I mean, it is about what you
They
think, but the song wasn't written.
Hypothesize it. Yeah.
This song was not actually written to be about a female, or it was not meant to be through a female's eyes. This song was through the eyes of the writer, Billy Steinberg. Billy Steinberg wrote it along with co-writer Tom Kelly after Billy broke up with his girlfriend. And the two were just trying to write like a ballad. But adding the word virgin in the ballad, they thought just sounded kind of weird. They couldn't quite make it work. And this is actually what Billy Steinberg said about the song. He said, I wasn't just trying to get the racy word virgin in the lyric. I was saying I've been battered romantically and emotionally like many people, but I'm starting a new relationship and it just feels good. It's healing all the wounds and making me feel like I've never done this before. So he wrote the song with himself in mind about breaking up with one girl and getting with another girl. And so to him, it wasn't sexual. It was about a relationship in general, which is really weird. Whatever.
Is virgin really a racy word? I just want to
This
kind of
was
clarify
1980 early.
Yeah, at the time it probably was. Yeah.
So this was
It wasn't the name of a record company.
you were but a wee lad,
Yeah,
but
that might
this
have been.
was when this song hit.
This was probably the beginning of her controversial.
Well, this and then the
music.
performance of this
Her
song.
rolling around on
Yeah.
stage in the wedding
That,
dress.
She was
Mhm.
considered quite the slut. Yeah, she
Then
was.
later on, she did like a prayer.
That
and
song got her
that's-
in a lot of crap too. Yeah. So these guys actually recorded a demo of it. They played it for Madonna, and I guess she really liked it, but she wanted to make it more of a pop song than a ballad, and that's kind of what happened. So it's so weird because I like in my brain I'm trying to do a slower version of like a virgin, and I can't. All I hear is that dun 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 dun.
And then Motley
dun, dun, dun.
Crue re-releases it.
Made it through med school.
I was gonna say, and Weird Al. Finally made it through.
I love Weird Al's version better
Dude,
than
like a
Motley
surgeon
Crue.
is so good.
Motley Crue should have never done that.
No, they.
Dude,
That was
not.
awful.
But I just think it's weird because we hear this song and it's so famous. and we
Molly
hear the
Crew
song,
did like a
but
virgin.
Yes, unfortunately, it's like a
Oh,
B-side.
God.
They did a couple.
You know they don't have to do everything that they do.
I know.
Well,
And
yeah,
make
they
choices.
don't need to do
It sounds
anything
like-
now.
I think Nicki tries to like, oh, but we
They're-
got to.
Her fucking name is popping up on they're on multiple like festivals this year. It's like, what the hell, man?
Were they supposed to be retired?
Yeah, they
Well,
were. They should
From
have.
my understanding, they're making new music.
With who's singing it?
Same person.
No, seriously, who's singing it?
The ghost of Vince Neil.
Like you could get Corey Feldman on there and it would sound better than Vince Neil at this point.
Ooh.
He's the comeback, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
no, he's not.
All right, so
Corey,
I got
come
one
on the
more to
show.
talk
Let's
about.
talk.
And this one, guys, is uber interesting to me. And I kind of wondered before I brought this up if Matt didn't already know this. And I'm kind of curious if Kevin knows this. Stu, you probably don't. I didn't. We're not massive fans. All right. So the Man in Black, Mr. Johnny Cash. Everybody, Johnny Cash. 1969. He is doing a live performance and recording it. And in that live performance, he sings a song called A Boy Named Sue. And this is at San Quentin State Prison.
Yes.
The
Fantastic album, by the way.
Boy Named Sue becomes a huge hit for him. One of his biggest hits. Actually, as it were, this was his biggest hit. It was landed in the Billboard Hot 100. It's like the only one to hit the top 10 single ever for him. And he didn't really intend for any of that to happen. It gets even more cool. He had just received this song a couple of days before he performed it. He hadn't even learned all the words yet. So if you see the videos of this, like if you go back and watch the performance, he's reading it off a piece of paper as he's singing the damn thing. And he's delivering it kind of weird because he doesn't know it all by heart yet. But that sort of worked. People like really expected it. But he just or really like loved it. But he didn't expect this to be a hit. Just didn't. It was actually June who talked him into performing the song in the first place. He didn't have any intention of doing it. She's like, "No, you should do it." So he does it. But here's the thing: someone else wrote this song and they performed it before Johnny Cash. I want to ask you guys if you know who it was. I want to ask Stu, Kevin first, because Matt, you said you.
I have no.
I already know.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say maybe. I got nothing. Go ahead.
I will say this:
Both
both of you know this person very, very well. Very
Really?
well.
It's not, but you probably didn't know he was a singer because I didn't, not
What
until
genre?
this.
I will tell
he's a
you. I'll
writer?
give you. Can I give him a hint?
just
Yeah,
writer?
he's a writer.
Yeah, give him a hint. But
Stephen
Okay.
King.
No.
No. But
That
all
kind
right.
of writer.
So I want you to picture the book covers. All right, you know this from your childhood.
And just picture the childhood book covers.
Fabio. Oh, not
White?
those.
They are. Shut up.
I told him, picture the childhood book covers. And Stu goes, Fabio, that's your childhood book covers?
Oh, I used to read that shit. The
I
other,
just picture Stu reading a Fabio romance novel.
the
now.
other book covers were Playboys. So like,
No, these
You
are
have
very
to.
famous book
All
covers.
right.
Black and
The
white.
book covers are white, like a white background, all black hand drawn artwork on there.
Really bizarre.
Shel Silverstein.
Yes.
Boom.
Really?
That's exactly who it is. Yep.
Absolutely.
What?
Shel
Yeah.
Silverstein.
No
Yes.
way.
Shel Silverstein wrote A Boy Named Sue and recorded it before Johnny Cash did.
Yep.
He wrote
I
and
may
recorded
actually have the recording of it here.
lots
in my
of
house.
songs. He knew Johnny Cash. This is so weird, man. Yes, that crazy looking poet
Wow.
who was adored by children everywhere.
Yeah, I
Shel
loved his
Silverstein.
books.
Somehow.
Same guy who gave us The Giving Tree, Where the Sidewalk Ends, A Light in the Attic.
Yeah.
He was a prolific songwriter. He won 2 Grammys, in fact, and was nominated for both a Golden Globe and an Academy Award for the song I'm Checking In for the movie Postcards from the Edge. I didn't know any of this. He has an
I'll be
album
damned.
called A Boy Named Sue and Other Country Hits or something like that
Something like
that came
that,
out
yeah.
before Johnny Cash. They were at this thing together, and they would this group of people would get together. I don't know if it was weekly, monthly, whatever, but they would like sort of jam together and figure stuff out. And they were going through A Boy Named Sue, and he like hands it to Johnny Cash. And like I said, June just told him, "Hey, you should perform this live," and he did. Yeah, apparently Shel Silverstein, number one, didn't intend to be a children's author. He didn't even think he could do that. I guess a friend was like, "You not only could you should do this." So he did. But he
so he
wrote.
did this before he wrote the books.
I don't know. I don't really know the time.
I can look it up real quick if you want to.
This is
you wanna pause.
1969, so he's probably before some of those books at least. I really don't know when they were written, but yeah, but it's just
I think he did those books in the 70s.
it's just crazy to think that this, like, who knew? Like, he not just like, I never knew he sang. I never knew he wrote songs. He wrote songs for a number of people, and I guess he was quite a prolific songwriter. It's just crazy. And but now that you hear, like, now that you know, and you know the song Boy Named Sue, and you know what it's about, you could totally, like, it could be a Shel Silverstein poem, like it could be in one of his books.
Yeah,
it's so weird though.
I mean, I'm glad it's not Dr. Seuss that did it.
Would have been
I
great.
would.
He actually did A Boy Named Sue. He did A Boy Named Sue 4 years after The Giving Tree came out.
Okay, so The Giving Tree did come
Or
out
5 years. 5 years rather.
but not the others. Not, Where the Sidewalk Ends, Light in the Attic.
Giving Tree came out in 1964. Light in the Attic came out in 1981. Let's see.
That was actually my
He
first
did a
book
bunch.
by my father.
Yeah. Where the Sidewalk Ends is not on this list for some reason.
I just think it's crazy that, like, we've known him our whole lives. We grew up with this man, right? Every one of us read his books when we were kids. It was like, I think kids go through a phase where it's like you discover Shel Silverstein, and like I remember passing his books around at school. Like, people were like, "Oh, you read it," and like we would quote them, and like my kids have read his stuff. It's like very timeless stuff. So to hear, like, oh, Johnny Cash's most famous song of all time was written by that guy who wrote Where the Sidewalk Ends, kind of blew my mind. I had no clue, like none. So, did you know that prior, Matt, or was this like a so you did know about this?
Yeah, like I said, I own the album that it came from with him doing
the Shel Silverstein album.
Yeah,
and I know Matt and Kevin are big Johnny Cash fans too, and Stu and I not as much.
Which is why I knew it. Actually, I saw I like to read liner notes and CDs and stuff, and I have the vinyl of Live at San Quentin.
CDs.
What are CDs? Yeah, physical media.
Yeah, right.
I have a vinyl copy.
What are those?
Yeah, he's not wrong though. That shit doesn't exist anymore. My wife bought a
special thanks.
Yeah, liner notes don't even
showed up in there.
They just do the little pocket.
Well, there's a reason why liner notes don't. My wife bought a new car yesterday. We got a new car yesterday, and
I saw that.
I drove it. We drove somewhere yesterday. Like, she had to drop off her old car, so I drove it. And there's no CD player in it. It's all
not
just
anymore.
And I was talking to somebody because I was like, it made me sad. And they're like, why? I was like, well, I know you can listen to a whole album on Spotify or whatever, and I do that. But every once in a while, I want to put I don't know what it is, but I want that tactile sensation of putting the whole CD in.
Mm-hmm.
Also, to any audiophiles out there, they will know this. CD quality is better than
yes.
It is better quality.
It comes through better and louder.
And if you ever want to question whether you can hear that or not, no, mostly you won't even think about it. But if you're in your car, put a CD in, leave the volume, and then play that same song, and it won't. It's good, but it's not as good. They compress these songs to be able to fit them in servers and MP3 format, whatever. And I know that you get a lot of people saying, so the quality of vinyl is not better than the quality of CDs, but that there's that warm vinyl hiss, like people who like vinyl. And so it's just a weird thing. So to know that cars you don't even have the option now putting it, freaking, I want to put a CD in, it's like, I can't do it anymore. Real.
So you go and buy one and have it installed.
What the guy,
it's gonna do this.
what the guy, you need to get like a 10 changer in your trunk if you really want.
Oh yeah.
No,
and you got to pull over if you want to change to an 11th album.
Hold on. Let me change my CD.
Yeah, the book
while driving.
I have a little one of those, by the way. I still have a little one. Case Logic. Everybody had Case Logic.
So that was the driving distraction before texting.
Yeah, you had flipped.
It really was. Yeah.
Now you just hand it to your buddy like, here, find Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Cash rules everything around.
Find Bone in there. No, creeping on a come up. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, get that one. Yeah,
not 1990.
Like, no. Yeah, put this one in. Yeah,
I want to hear Mr. Ouija. Ouija, are you with me? No, no one.
I do.
Yeah.
No Bone fans over here. You guys are letting me down. You know,
Sorry,
this
I'm
is
just over
what
here missing my Uncle Charles, y'all.
God damn it.
There's a TikTok that makes me laugh every time I see it. There's yes, this guy sitting on a couch and like his wife is filming him and like Bone starts playing and he starts singing. She's like, "What did you just say?" He's like, "What?" She's like, "What lyrics did you just sing to that song?" And he's like, "Oh, a hippopotamus, a bunch of guys got him a." And he is serious as hell because he doesn't know what they say. But I just now every time I hear it, I do that, Matt. I go, hippopotamus, a bunch of guys got him a. And it works.
I love the ones where people like put in their own lyrics, and it when you read it on screen, it forces you to think about that.
They're
It's,
like,
gotta poop, but God's got it. Like, wait,
they'll
gotta
say
poop,
things
but
on-
God's got it.
but it'll say things on the screen like they'll be contemplative, like staring up, and it's like, remember when Bone gave us these hard hitting lyrics? And they're like this, and it's like putting gibberish because nobody knows what it's like. We don't know what they're saying. It just sounds awesome. You know what else the car guy told us yesterday? Most new cars don't come with a spare tire anymore. They give you a damn can of Fix-A-Flat.
Yep.
Yeah.
What?
World we
Which
live in.
is
And they're going to
bullshit.
charge you 3 times more for that car than they did 10 years ago. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's because you have free roadside or something like that now.
For a while.
For
Yeah.
for a minute.
God only knows. So yeah, those were just some fun facts I kind of stumbled across on some different songs and music that I know everybody probably knows or loves, and I didn't know any of these, to be honest. So it was kind of threw me off a little bit when I was reading some of these. What about you guys? Were these all like
These were
new?
These were all unexpected to me, so learned a lot.
Except for man, he's like, I knew about Shel
Yeah,
Silverstein,
I knew Michelle Silverstein.
that shocked me.
Yeah, that was weird. It's always so weird to me to see what he looked like too. The
Yeah.
picture that we put up
He
was
didn't
pretty
look like a
normal.
children's author.
That was actually one of the more
Yeah.
normal pictures of him.
Ah,
He looks like he would terrify children, but apparently,
Honestly, I didn't know what he looked like.
oh
He
yeah,
looks like
He looks
the
like this.
ex-Vietnam vet about
I'm
to sell
telling
you
you.
candy.
that's one of the better pictures I found. Like he's
yeah. Oh, dude, some of them that he had on his like book sleeves were even
Mhm.
worse than this.
See, I can't
Like,
remember.
I
it's
will
like
say this.
they jumped out from around a corner with a camera and scared him.
that's a shot. That would be
Notes
the
from
best
the author.
book sleeve.
They scared the
ever.
hell out of me when they took this photo.
I think all famous authors should do that from now on. Just like
They really
random
should. Yeah.
catching them in weird poses. This is
Or
kind of
lay
sad,
their face on a
about him.
copy machine, and that's how they
but
do it.
I actually didn't know this about him, but he lost like his daughter died when she was 11.
Oh
Which
damn.
was like part of the reason like he kind of like wrote a lot of these things, like dedicated them in memory to her and stuff. And I always thought that was kind of cool to find that out. Like, you know, like he lost his child, so he went on to like entertain children everywhere. Kind of cool. It's kind of cool. He was a cool dude. He'd be a fun person to kind of talk about on the show sometime.
Yeah.
That would actually be really cool. We
That'd
should
be
do an
really
episode where
fun.
we talk about like authors.
I'm guessing he's not around. anymore.
No, he
1999.
yeah, he passed a heart attack. Yeah.
Yep.
I think in his sleep, actually.
That's a good way to
He
go.
was what, close to 70, or might have been in his
I
I
can
I
was
wouldn't
I
call that
had
a
it
good
pulled
way
up.
to go. I would say a better way to go.
it's a better way to go, yeah.
Yeah.
In your sleep, you know. But yeah, he was a cool dude. It might be fun to like talk about authors or stuff we read when we were kids, like stuff we were all really into. when we were
68.
kids. So, yeah, that's why I was gonna say I knew he was close to 70 when he passed away. So
Hmm.
fascinating dude. And like I said, it might be really cool to kind of talk about just like stuff we remember, books and stuff from when we were kids, like that were really big. With that being said, I kind of let you guys know a few things. We'll have a video going up. Actually, probably one up before this because it's going to be a smaller one. But we are going to be talking to Aaron from Horror Hound. We're just going to kind of go talk a little bit about the Horror Hound convention and the magazine as well. We're going to kind of give you guys a little update on that. But the reason I kind of brought some of this up is we also have an interview coming up. This one is going to be a little different. We're going to be interviewing an author. We've only done that once before on this show. and that was a while ago. We talked, Kevin and I. We talked to Jonathan Mayberry, and Jonathan is an author. He wrote like V Wars, which ended up becoming a show on Netflix, and he's written for lots of comic books, Black Panther, Marvel Zombies. Great dude. So if you haven't listened, you should go back and listen to that interview. But Isaac Marion, we're going to be interviewing on the show, and you can always watch the video of that when it gets released. But just sort of happened. He is the guy who wrote the book Warm Bodies that the movie ended up being made off of. And I didn't know this. I've read the book and seen the movie. I like them both.
Yeah.
There are 2 more novels in that series. It's a trilogy. So I didn't know that. But he's going to come on and kind of talk about what he does and like supporting some of your smaller authors and stuff like that. So be looking for those. What I'm kind of getting at is we have a YouTube channel. You could be watching this right now. You're listening. Maybe you're watching. We don't know.
Sorry in advance.
We are. So there you go. Check us out online. Check us out on YouTube if you're not. Go over. We put a lot of videos up. TikTok as well. We are on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. We are Tapeworms fans of the Mixtape Podcast. We've gotten a few
scrolling across the screen right there.
No, we've gotten a few new people over there. So welcome. Glad to have you. We got an email. I got to pull this up because I don't have it. I'm going to pull it up on my phone, guys. But we got an email from Sir Skiznot. And I want to read it because
Skiz of Nottington.
We asked Sir Skiz of Nottington a question, and he answered us. And so I need to.
No voicemail? What the heck? Skiz?
So he said, "Hey, Jay and Matt," and he specifies us for a reason. He says, "Since you guys asked specifically about what I would pick in the soundtrack episode," so Matt
got left out.
Well, Matt and I both kind of called him out in that episode, so we wanted to know what Skiznot would pick. He said, "Since you asked specifically what I would pick on the soundtrack episode, I thought it would be rude not to respond, and also it was a fun question. I didn't find a post on this specific episode on Facebook." So that's why he emailed us instead. My 3 soundtrack score choices would be, and this is crazy, but I get it when I read it. Passion, the soundtrack to The Last Temptation of Christ by Peter Gabriel. Well, if you guys don't know this, Skiznot and I have talked about online a few times. We're both Peter Gabriel fans. And so he's a huge Peter Gabriel fan. And so that makes perfect sense to me. He said, I was tempted for all 3 to be Peter Gabriel, Birdie, and Rabbit Proof Fence, but that wouldn't be accurate. This is probably one of my favorite pieces of recorded music of all time. His second choice was Batman Begins by Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard. This was exactly the kind of music I wanted to hear in the live action Batman. That was exactly what I wanted to see. Those sound effects and textures evoked something unsettling out of the corner of your eye, that when you look to where the sound came from, there was nothing. Often the music kind of punctuated what the criminals experienced when they were being hunted by the bats. That's kind of cool. Like, I really like that he gave his reasoning behind it, like why he chose that. And I never really thought about it that way, but how the music for that film does sort of like that punctuates the scene. Like you kind of, And he said, last Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I'm not joking here. Looking back, I was so happy when there was a new Star Wars and just loved the Jedi versus Darth Maul scenes and thought that chorus
Duel of the Fates,
a perfect merge of choreography and sonic intensity. Other parts of the film may not hold up, and I may have overlooked glaring issues because I was so happy to get more Star Wars, but I still get chills every time I see Darth Maul light up to that dramatic choir parts. Ba, 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 I don't know. He wrote that. But he's not wrong. Good. Regardless of your things about Phantom Menace, the music was perfect. Like it was. You remember going to the theater and seeing the trailer and that music hit and people erupted to the trailer. I remember being in the theater and it came on and people just lost their minds.
The movie was a letdown, but
I remember going to see the movie and people, and this was I'd never experienced this at a movie before. People were dressed up and there was a lightsaber duel that went on in the front of the theater before the movie even started. It was crazy. He said, if I could do a soundtrack myself, I think I would want to start with the animated Ralph Bakshi film Wizards, which is,
interesting.
You're gonna
I've actually seen I've seen a single cell of that film for sale locally here and almost got it.
It's a really interesting
awesome.
movie. It's a
Yeah.
really that I just think it would be fun to put together a prog rock dream team and do an international soundtrack. Nothing necessarily wrong with the soundtrack it has, but it sounds sort of incidental, like it is stock music almost. So there you go. Just a little feedback from our man Sir Skiz of Nottingham. So you guys can always give us your feedback too. We have a email which is on the screen, but if you want to know, it is yourmixtapeshow@gmail.com. We have a phone number, which I guess is probably on the screen at some point.
Yep.
But if you want to know, it is 513-HE-RAD-77.
Or 513-537-2377.
437.
437. It's on the screen.
437-2377.
Speaking of Rad, they're replaying.
They are
it
playing
in
Fathom
theaters.
Films is releasing Rad in theaters. Yeah. Stu's very excited.
I'm very excited.
It's not the Wraith, though, Stu. It's
No,
not the Wraith.
it's not the Wraith. They need to. They keep skating around it for some reason.
Is that a
No.
Okay.
It's not
No,
the-
Rad. No.
Thought maybe you were just going the whole X game thing here.
It's like, yeah, the next one's going to be Gleaming the Cube. And he's like, God damn it. Just play the
Brothers
fucking race.
Justice statement. That's
Yeah,
it's one of those
yeah.
confusing ones. It was released as Gleaming the Cube, but they were afraid people wouldn't know what that meant, so they changed the name to a Brothers Justice.
But then it got re-released.
oh yes, did it?
In
That was a really good March.
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
Puberty. And then,
Puberty.
and then they re-released it to Gleaming the Cube
Stuberty.
again after that.
So stupidy love.
I'm going through stupidy.
All right, guys. I think that's it for this episode. We thank all of you guys for listening or watching or whatever you do. Please like and share. We've been getting some kind of an uptick in listeners lately, and that's really cool. And I assume it's because all you awesome people out there are sharing it with.
I thought it was because
Yeah.
I was on this.
No, we actually had this really big
It was
drop.
on
and
the
I had
one where
to
you were gone when they
Yeah, we
couldn't
had, like,
hear or see you.
Since
They
you've
just
been
spiked.
gone,
Yeah.
we get heard for the first time. All right, that's it. We love you guys. Please tune in next week when we talk about more exciting stuff. And until that happens, remember to always stay.
Stay awesome.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
He didn't do it. He didn't woo this week.
Woo.
He didn't. He didn't woo you. Woo.
It's not voice activated, but I could probably make it voice activated.
Don't do that. Woo! It'd be a show of us all going woo woo woo.
Just Ric Flair's popping up all over the screen.
Thank you for watching the mixtape. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click the bell icon for notifications when new videos come out. And remember to always stay awesome.